Tonight, we're going live around the world and giving you at home a chance to interact with your favorite game developers and YouTube creators. Welcome to Live with YouTube Gaming, YouTube's first live series, and it's a new show where you're going to help us build it every week with your feedback. Tonight, we're kicking things off with exclusive new looks over the next hour at some of this fall's biggest sequels: the mech warfare of Titanfall 2, the stealth action of Dishonored 2, and the gritty gore of Gears of War 4. We'll have some fun, too, and be joined in the studio by veteran video game voice actor Troy Baker. Nadeshot and iJustine are here. We've got lots of other guests coming by, and special appearances by iHasCupQuake and the one and only, my nemesis, AngryJoe. You'll also meet a new friend of ours. More on that a little bit later. So put your game on pause and get ready to interact with the people who make the games and the creators who tell you about them every day. This is the premiere of Live with YouTube Gaming. And here we are. Hey, everybody, I'm Geoff Keighley, and welcome to the home of Live with YouTube Gaming. This is so exciting. It's YouTube's first live series, and we've got tons of world-exclusive stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else but right here over the next hour. So thanks for joining us. You know, 23 years ago, I started as a 13-year-old kid writing about video games from my bedroom up in Toronto, Canada. And the internet was just starting, and the only way I could connect with other gamers around the world was by running up my parents' phone bill, dialing into long-distance BBSs, or hitting up the forums on CompuServe. But today, thanks to the power of YouTube and live video, we have such an amazing opportunity to bring together the gaming community in a new way, and we're getting ready for the Game Awards in December. But when this opportunity came up with YouTube, I said, we've got to do this show. I jumped at the chance. And what we're about to do here is something I think is missing out there, a chance to connect all of us to talk about something we love live, video games. And the rest of the year, we've got amazing game developers coming by, bands. It's going to be fun over the next 8 weeks. So thanks for joining us for this brand new show. Now, the coolest thing about doing a live show like this every week is that we can react in real time to what you guys think at home. I'm the first to admit we don't have all the answers about what this show should look like, so it's pretty amazing that you at home can actually give us feedback in real time, of course in the comments, but also you're going to be able to affect this show in real time. You can head right now to primetimevoting.com and control the show in real time. So here's your first choice tonight. Do you want a new rant from AngryJoe first in the show, or a brand new world premiere music video from iHasCupQuake? Go to primetimevoting.com right now, lock in your choice, and you'll see that in just a minute. Now, I will show the results a little later, and keep that tab open because there'll be more ways to interact all throughout the show, primetimevoting.com. Now, tonight we wanted to kick the show off with something we know you guys love: exclusive gameplay that you won't see anywhere else, and it'll come first right here to YouTube Live. Titanfall was a massively successful first title a few years ago for the guys at Respawn. I spent the better part of a couple months with these guys chronicling the end of the creation of that game. They had an amazing story building Titanfall 1. There was one thing players missed about the first game. That was, of course, a campaign. These are the guys that built Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, and birthed the Call of Duty franchise, and I love story-driven campaigns. Well, Respawn has answered that call. They just wrapped up development of the game last night. It went gold, and they are here to give us the first ever look at the campaign of Titanfall 2. But first, let's set up the story. Here's what Titanfall 2 is all about.
Of all the things I've seen on the battlefields of the frontier, the pilot is the true dominant force. Fast and agile. Graceful, yet devastating. Perceptive, resourceful, and relentless. A pilot sees the world differently. Sheer walls become flanking routes. Pilots fight differently. Experienced in deception and maneuver, even overwhelming odds shift in their favor. But But what truly separates the pilot from all the grunts and machines of the battlefield is the bond between a pilot and a Titan. When linked to a Titan, a pilot can only be stopped by overwhelming force, or an equal. The frontier has been the only home I've ever known. For years, our lands have been destroyed by the IMC, forcefully taking our resources, polluting and destroying our planets, and killing us off if we try to resist. Despite recent victories at Demeter and beyond, we have a long way to go before the IMC is defeated. Now, I serve as a rifleman in the militia, fighting to free the frontier. I'm a long way from becoming a pilot. But when that day comes, I hope I can live up to the honor.
Titanfall 2, it is real, and please welcome my first ever guest to Live with YouTube Gaming from Respawn Entertainment, Vince Zampella, Steve Fukuda, and Mohammed Alavi. Great to have you guys here. Thank you so much for making this your first stop. You literally finished the game yesterday, Vince?
It went gold, yeah. I mean, we don't finish for months and months. We keep going, we make it better, we make improvements. As you saw in the last game, we did months of improvements and tweaks and content, extra content, so we'll keep going for a while.
Well, the game is, I'm really excited. It's coming out. I was over there a few weeks ago, got to play some of what we're going to show people tonight, and was really blown away by the quality of the campaign. Obviously, Steve, the first game known as a multiplayer only experience, and multiplayer is a big part of this game still, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we've done a lot of tweaks to the game. We've changed a lot of the some of the details of the gameplay, and we've really worked on the fundamentals of how it can be balanced and be a little more about being proactive about your strategy, being proactive about how you want to apply your tactics in the battlefield. So there's a lot of ground level changes, and they've been a little controversial, and I acknowledge that. But I think the game is generally healthier for it. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep listening to the feedback we're getting online and gauging that, and constantly working forward with our audience.
It's a better game.
Yeah, it's a better game.
Well, and the new thing is not only great multiplayer, but also campaign. Mo, this is a game, as people may know, you can play as a Titan or play as a pilot in an MP. So that's something you obviously wanted to carry forward with the campaign, right? Being able to play as both.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things that we wanted to do coming forward was explore the bond between pilot and Titan, right? And so that was definitely a main crux of the story. But what we didn't want to do was just take that and plop it into what I would call a stereotypical shooter gameplay campaign, right? So what we ended up doing was crafting a very unique experience that makes the mechanics of Titanfall shine.
All right, well, I'm really excited. So this is crazy. We have 3 levels or 3 areas from the campaign we're going to show you guys tonight. We really appreciate how generous you are bringing all this exclusive stuff to YouTube first.
We couldn't pick. We couldn't narrow it down, so we said, let's just show it all.
Well, and it's coming out in a month, and you guys have been very secretive about the campaign, and it's been 7 years since you guys built the campaign for Modern Warfare 2, so we've been waiting for you guys to come back and push the genre forward. So let's talk about the first thing we're going to see. This is T-Day, which is a Titan part of the game, right? Anything you want to say before we see this?
Yeah, the level is called Trial by Fire, and basically at this point we're going to show you a good chunk of Titan gameplay, because the reason we're showing you these clips is because the game is so heavy on variety. Yeah. And just showing one thing alone doesn't really represent the game properly.
All right, well, we're going to show this to you guys. No talking. This is going to be the full-on experience, so sit back, relax. This is how you're going to play it. Take a look at Trial by Fire from Titanfall 2 exclusively right here on Live with YouTube Gaming.
Stand by for Titanfall! Get to cover, pilot. We're taking down that wall. Unless we take out those cannons, we're not getting any closer.
Big
Oh, what a
combat
tease to
action.
stop right there. Oh.
That looks insane. Matt, Justine, what'd you guys think?
I'm actually very surprised because I'm a pretty harsh critic when it comes to first-person shooters, and I've had a good amount of time on Titanfall 2 as a part of the tech test, and it's incredibly intuitive. I gotta tip my hat to you guys because when you chain all those movements together, if it's not flowing, if it's not functional the way you really think it should be, then it's just not gonna work. I hate clunky games, and Titanfall 2 is the opposite of that. Very smooth, very intuitive, and I had a blast. I can't wait till it comes out.
Yeah, I played the tech test, and I'm gonna say I'm a fan of the grapple. I mean, I was loving it.
The grapple is ridiculous.
It was great. I loved it.
That's what's great, like the grapple, all these innovations that you guys are bringing to the genre. And also that clip, I know, people may not realize it, but you can actually change your kind of loadout for your Titan, right?
Yeah, so BT-7274 is a Vanguard class Titan. In the mythos, he is the first Titan created by the militia, and he's the most advanced Titan. So he's almost got this like Mega Man ability to pick up the loadouts of Titans he defeats, and he takes them with him all the way through the game. So at any point, you can switch loadouts because often you'll find that one tool is better for the job than
No, I
another.
remember and you switch to Ronin, and all of a sudden you've got the sword, and so that's what's cool. It's like it's intense gameplay, but a lot of variety to how you attack the snare.
Yeah, it's about thinking about what you're doing. It's anticipating the next move of the enemy and making decisions along the way.
It is a thinking man's shooter, for sure.
So we know obviously there's Titan gameplay in the game. That's a part of the campaign, but of course pilot gameplay. That sort of boots on the ground or boots in the air. That's a big thing. It's everywhere. So let's
steal that.
Boots in the air. But that's the thing is that you guys, when you play it, obviously the wall running and things you did in the first game, this game, pilot gameplay. But I think as we're about to see here in this next level, there's a lot of really interesting puzzle solving. I know, Steve, you wrote a blog post today about the idea of scripting out a bunch of different ideas and testing things initially of action blocks, different ways to sort of change the gameplay. So this next level we're going to see probably not what you would expect from a traditional sort of first-person shooter. Tell us, why do you want to show us this?
Well, one of the key words to describe the game is mysterious. And mysterious, discovery, a sense of exploration, that mobility, that freedom. But we really want our players to feel like they're in another place, to get really immersed in that environment. And so this is an example of something that's a little bit off the beaten path. It's a little bit different from what you might expect Titanfall to be. You're going to see a lot of the freewheeling pilot gameplay.
Okay, let's take a look at it. This is Into the Abyss, Boomtown, another Titanfall 2 exclusive right here on YouTube.
Pilot, I'm being taken through an area stocked with prefabricated structures. We are not far apart. Keep moving.
What the hell are they building here, BT?
Unknown, but I doubt the IMC are mass-producing homes. They usually destroy them.
a lot going on there. Lots of
going on there.
movement, BT, pilot. Explain sort of, I mean, the puzzling element to this game and sort of trying to figure out, how to get through the environment. That's obviously something that's a focus there, right?
Yeah, so like I said, we wanted to make something that made our mechanics shine. And what we noticed early on in development with the action blocks that Steve mentioned was the pilot mobility really not just opens up the battlefield, but opens up this sense of like exploration and puzzle solving and kind of attacking any situation at your own pace. So the path he took through that's the path he decided to take. That's not the only path.
Right.
No, it's so different than how I would play it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great to watch different people play it and just see the different things that they decide. And you're like, oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And changes and affects the pacing of the game so that you get that sort of action-adventure kind of vibe as you play through the game.
No, and as that level sort of expands out, and you have other levels in the game where it does feel like it's a little more adventure than just sort of straight down the corridor.
It's very
like
action-adventure.
Yeah, it can get slowed down, it can speed up, There's a lot of variety. That's the key thing.
There is, and there's things, there's one level I know we can't talk about that I played, which is like a cool new mechanic that I think is like sort of this, I wonon't spoil it, but it's something that you guys have definitely
It's not the
put some price on.
time to shift into any of that talk.
Oh, there's a tease, exactly. But no, I will say like I won't tell you what it is, but the way you guys have sort of reinvented cover in a different way with this is like really cool, and that's a level that I don't think you want to spoil in advance, but it's in the game. But we do have more to talk about. There's a third sequence that we're going to show, and Mo, this is a level that I know is close to your heart, right?
Yeah. So the next level is internally called Ship to Ship. It's called the Arc. I was the main designer on it. What you're about to see, actually, I like this a lot because most of the game takes place, like I said, between the relationship between you and BT, right? But this one, we wanted to have you feel what it's like to be part of an elite squad of pilots. So right now, what you're about to see is you fighting alongside the 6-4, which is comprised of 4 pilots named Bear, Gates, Davis, and Droz.
Okay.
And, well, you know what? I'll just let it talk for itself.
All right, another first look right here on Live with YouTube Gaming. Check out more of Titanfall 2.
The bridge is through that hangar over there. Any ideas? Briggs here. What do you need me to do?
Close the door and keep her steady.
He's not thinking. Oh, no, wait a second.
Follow me. I love this joke.
It's never boring.
Just move your ass, Davis. Up there.
Hold your fire, it's bulletproof. We're gonna breach the glass. Take your marks.
The guy by the stairs.
Tango on the mezzanine.
Shake charges are ready.
Hey, Coop, watch how the 6-4 does it.
Pilot Cooper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Breaching, breaching, breaching! Clear?
Clear.
That's how it's done. 6-4, on me. Cooper, get to the captain's console and disable the guns. Cooper, bypass that console. Kill the guns. Commander Briggs, the Malta is ours.
Copy that, 6-4. Cooper, you still have control of the bridge. Use your data knife to steer yourself right behind the Draconis. Barker, get BT back to Cooper.
You got it. On my way. Hold on, Tin Man.
All call signs. Clean up hostiles and rendezvous with the Draconis. This is it.
Here's your Titan, Cooper. I'm done babysitting.
Ready to transfer control to pilot.
Cooper will cover you from the rear. Take the deck and get to the Draconis.
Voodoo 1, Viper's on station. Your journey ends here, pilot. The skies belong to me. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
It's a little bit of a tease there. Boss fight.
Boss fight, yeah.
Viper. We're gonna have a lot of boss fights in this game.
A good amount, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so we have a wide cast of characters.
Yeah.
You saw, like I said, the 6-4. There's also a wide cast of enemy characters, and they do come across. You do come across them later in the campaign in the form of boss fights and other situations.
Right, just bounty hunters sort of out searching for
Yeah,
you.
they're
A
like
bunch of characters we've
mercenaries
seen teased. Yeah.
I mean, they're a colorful bunch, and it's always saying that the game isn't really taking itself too seriously all the time. It's got a sense of humor. It's got a sense of levity about it as well.
So how much will we play as the pilot versus the Titan, like in the campaign?
That's a good question.
It comes out to about, we had this little internal rule while we were doing our action blocks, and we sort of arrived at this magic sort of formula in our heads, which is sort of 2-1-1. And so we sort of say 2 parts of pilot combat and mobility, and then 1 part of Titan combat, and 1 part of more calm, puzzly kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or other.
2-1-1.
2-1-1. Yeah.
All right. Somehow that'll translate into a full-blown
It just worked out.
Well, it looks amazing, and again, like I love the variety of what you guys are doing. The game looks fantastic. Coming out in next month, right? End of October?
October 28th.
October, and you're on PlayStation now, which we're excited about as well.
We are on PlayStation. It's a great variety, like you said, a great variety of gameplay. You saw some of the different ones that we didn't even show tonight.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. Single player, full campaign. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I got to say, I'm so glad to kick the show off with you guys showing that, because the team has been through a lot, and what you guys are doing with the campaign looks incredible. So congratulations on finishing the game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. All right, let's give it up for the guys from Respawn with Titanfall 2. All right, well, we got a lot more still to come. We got Troy Baker stopping by to show off his vocal chops. We've also got an exclusive first look at Gears of War 4's Horde mode with Rod Ferguson, and Harvey Smith is here to show off some never-before-seen footage from Dishonored 2. Lots more first looks only on Live with YouTube Gaming. But first, earlier we asked you if you wanted to see a new video from AngryJoe or iHasCupQuake, and the YouTube has spoken, and the results are in. AngryJoe, it was close though, 52% for AngryJoe. Well, it's time for the AngryJoe Minute. Enjoy it.
Bat Square Enix. Bat. Microtransactions in our single-player RPGs? Stub it. Stub it. No. Bat. Bat. No. Stub it. As if it isn't bad enough already to have 6 or 7 different editions of a game, you already paid $60 for the digital standard edition, or maybe $90 for the deluxe edition. Or you got the $140 collector's edition with the season pass DLC. No, on top of all this, Square Enix has decided to sneak right under all of our noses the worst thing yet. The greatest threat to modern AAA gaming. These microtransactions in its single-player RPG. Do you want skill points faster to level your character? You can purchase them for 99 cents, $3.99, or $6.99. Do you want in-game money faster? Well, that's either 99 cents, $4.49, $7.49, or $9.99. It gets even worse. These are all just one-time use on one of your saves, one of your characters. It's not enough that as consumers, we have to make decisions on what's bad DLC and what's good DLC. Here we have the Assault Gear DLC. Well, that's $4.99. Well, here we have the Tactical Gear DLC, and that's also $4.99. But here we have the System Rift DLC. Well, that's gonna cost you $11.99. And I'm not even talking about these, but instead these. And before you say, well, AngryJoe, in this particular game, you don't need to buy these. Yet. But it doesn't even stop there. The other mode in the game, Breach, is also filled with, guess what? In-game microtransactions and premium cost weapons. Jesus Christ! Unfortunately, I've seen very little coverage outside a few of us on YouTube. Where's the games press on this? This egregious microtransactions upon microtransactions on top of DLC, on top of collector's editions, on top of digital deluxe editions, on top of pre-order bonuses. This is a classic Trojan horse tactic, guys. If your audience and the press doesn't notice or care enough, then the next time you slowly turn that desired dial up and up and up, you rebalance the game after they purchase this to make these more attractive. No, Square Enix, no. If you want to make a shitty mobile game with these shitty mobile game tactics in them, then do it in your shitty mobile game division like you already do. Keep this kind of stuff out of our AAA gaming. Oh man, God forbid if they put this in Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts 3. Could you even imagine that? We're watching you, and other companies too. Do not make us angry. No.
Angry Joe, slightly turned up, slightly angry. All right, well, thank you, Joe. We will hear from you in future weeks, and we've got lots of other great YouTube folks coming by as well. Matt Pat will be here doing his deadlock debate in a couple of weeks. We're excited about that and much more, so stay tuned. But now we've got two guys here, and between them, they've got a legion of voices. Please welcome Troy Baker and Brian Hall.
Yay.
All right, Troy, you are a veteran of the video game voiceover world.
That means I'm old.
But, I mean, literally, like, every game, it's like Uncharted 4, Shadow of Mordor, BioShock, Transformers, Batman with Telltale.
Yeah.
You do it all.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's been a cool world.
How many games have you been in, do you think? Do you keep a list?
Oh my God, no.
You don't have like a tally on your wall?
I don't. I've been fortunate enough to work on some things that, more than anything as a gamer, I've been excited to play. Yeah. So I think that's probably the coolest benefit of doing this is I get to judge my own work and then turn around and tell myself how you should have done it better the next time. So it's fun.
Well, and this may be your finest. Not final.
No. Actually, you may be right. Exactly. This is my final moment.
We'll see how it goes.
That old Bugs Bunny thing. I can only do it once.
People are wondering what's about to happen here. All right, Brian.
Yes.
Let's talk a bit about you. You've got a huge following on YouTube, and perhaps most famous for your video on YouTube, which has you performing Let It Go as various Disney and Pixar characters. Over 26 million views. Let's take a look at this if you guys haven't already seen this.
Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and
We only get one voice there. There's like literally 100.
big way to Firefly too out everybody on there. Ooh, boy, gotta love that way Firefly. No.
Brian Hall, I can't imagine hanging out with you. All right, so how did you realize you had this talent?
Well, I was 13 years old. I was watching Full House one day, and I was just like, saw Joey Gladstone doing all these voices, and I'm like, well, I bet I could do that. Yeah. And he did Scooby-Doo, so I was like, and I was like, oh, there we go. I didn't know I could do that.
And now you and Dave Coulier are good friends?
Never met him.
Never met him, all right. But inspired. But you've met Troy Baker now, and we have both of you guys here together, and you're doing your video game debut soon too, right?
That's right.
Tell us about that game.
Yeah, it's a game coming out called World War Toons. Yeah. It's from a new startup studio called Reload.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot of fun. It's basically saying, hey, let's do a first-person shooter, but make it as goofy and zany and cartoony as possible. So it's a blast. Like, anytime I went into the studio to record, they're like, think of this Looney Tunes character mixed with that Looney Tunes character. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good.
It's amazing.
Well, hopefully this is going to be good. All right, we have both of you guys assembled here today because we want to showcase your vocal skills at the whim of our audience, which you guys can go to primetimevoting.com and get ready, because it's time to Let's Make a Scene. All All right, the rules of this game are pretty simple. You each have a column of characters behind you here of voices that you're known to act out, I think.
Okay.
We'll see. Hopefully they're things you know. And we're going to have you improv a scene using those character voices. I'll provide a scenario to get things going. The second scenario is going to be chosen by our lovely studio audience. Justine and Matt will lead that. And you, the viewers, get to choose our final scene.
Oh boy.
So you can go to primetimevoting.com right now to vote. There are only 3 options, so they can't go too crazy.
Okay, good.
Right in your scene. This could get
It could be
ugly.
my final performance.
No, there are 3 options, which you'll see at primetimevoting.com. When you hear this sound, the scene is over. All right, are you guys ready? Let's do it. Troy, why don't you do the honors and pick your first voice?
Let's go right in the middle. Okay. No, this is like a hidden card trick?
No, I think you can reveal it.
Can I show it to everybody? Okay.
Do the big reveal. Troy as Batman.
Well, who booed just now?
They were hoping for something more, right? Exactly.
Come on!
Batman! What else is on the board? Batman! Give it time. All right, Troy as Batman. Okay. Brian, why don't you do the honors?
Let's see here. I think I'll sit close to the middle too, but go a little higher up. Here we go.
2. All right.
There's something interesting.
All right, let's see. What is your...
Oh, no!
Okay. I didn't know we had the same on both sides. Okay. All right, so let's have...
It was a cheap day at Kinko's today, by the way.
But there are many different Batmans, so which Batman will we get?
I don't know. I'll just do me. Do the Telltale Batman.
Telltale
I don't know.
Batman.
We'll see how this...
And I'll do the Christian Bale Batman.
Okay. All right. So let's have both Batman picking up a suit at the dry cleaners. Can we do that?
That makes sense.
All righty.
Bat suit. It could be a bat suit or a rain suit. All right. Here we go. Let's make a scene, guys.
All right. Hey. I know who you are. Yeah, I do. I totally know who you are.
No.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Pleasure to meet you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Batman.
Nope.
Yes, you're totally Batman.
No.
Shut
up.
Every Batman can tell another Batman.
Yeah. There's only one Batman, thankfully. There's just the one. Everybody else is just a cheap knockoff.
We'll see about that.
Yes, we will.
But hey, what color is your suit?
I'm
Your
just...
bat suit, what color is it?
All right.
Well done.
Well done. All right.
All right, so this goes back up here.
Oh, they put him back. Okay.
Oh, I guess so.
We're
We're
very again,
We're
right?
very clean.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Looks
We got to pick up after ourselves.
All right. Round 2. Let's do this again. Justine, what do you think this scene should be? Talk to
You be good to me.
Yeah.
Buying a puppy.
What?
Oh my God. Buying a puppy.
Buying a puppy?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We don't even know what the voice is yet, but we know they're going to be buying a puppy together.
Together, both
Okay.
of you. It's cute.
Okay. Getting a new cute puppy. All right. Brian, why don't you start this time? Let's see who you're
All
gonna
righty. Let's see. Let's go all the way down here this time. Here we go.
Yay.
Here we go. This will be a good one.
be. Goofy. All right. Now we're getting into all things Disney. Troy,
If this
what
is
do you
either
think?
Goofy or Batman, I cry foul.
Well, if it's Goofy, this will be real interesting.
I want to apologize in advance for how this is going to go down. This is wow.
Okay.
One of these things is not like the other. There we go. Okay.
All right, Joker
We're
and
buying a
Goofy
puppy.
buying a puppy. I can't wait for this one. Here, let me take your cards so you guys can have
right.
fully act this one out. I think you're going to need it, Troy.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's make a scene.
Oh boy, I can't wait to go buy me a puppy dog. I've been saving forever. Mikey ain't the only one with a dog anymore. Oh, hi there. How are you today?
This is going to sound very funny coming from me, but you're very strange.
Thank you.
You, here to buy a dog?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was maybe looking at a Pekingese or a Goofinese.
I don't really care. Excuse me, sir. I would like to buy a puppy.
Oh, me too.
But I was here first. Do you have puppies? Oh, good, you do. Well, why? Not really important, is it? Why I need a puppy? I just want a puppy. They're cute and they're, you could put them into a cannon and maybe fire them at people that you don't like.
What? As a dog, I find that offensive.
You're a dog.
Yeah.
Ooh, Well, can I just buy this one?
Wait, what?
Well, I'm not bad.
There it is, all right. Looking for the save. Yeah, I hope I put these back on the right side here.
Well, unless you put Goofy on his, I don't think you
should. I? Yeah,
Shouldn't you?
Oh no, I can't because the number,
number 4.
it's gonna throw the numbers off the whole board, all that symmetry. All right.
Oh, we're doing one more.
One more, guys.
Oh,
now we have people at home voting.
Oh boy.
On what the next scenario is. So the last round, viewers can head over to primetimevoting.com right now to decide our final scenario, and the options are: decide what to eat for dinner.
Okay.
Second, getting the hot tub temperature just right. I don't know who picked these. I didn't write these up. And the third one is fighting over the good video game controller. Vote right now, guys. As you're voting, we're going to pick your characters, and we'll see what happens. So, Troy and Brian, your final selections for Let's Make a Scene.
I'm doing my own theme music for no reason.
Please, go for it, guys.
All right, I'm going to go with 5.
There you go.
Who said? I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing. It's my wife's favorite number.
Okay.
Okay.
You're down with it?
I could do that.
What's the reveal?
Sam Drake from Uncharted 4.
All right, Uncharted 4. One of your best performances this year.
This year. One of your best performances since Tuesday. All right,
Brian,
Sam
go
Drake, what are you going to do?
Let's see. I'm going to try number 4. Let's see what's here. Yes.
Okay. Winnie the Pooh and Sam Drake. And it looks like everyone's voted online, and Fight for the Good Controller was the #1 choice at primetimevoting.com. So yeah, Goofy and Sam Drake fighting over the best
Winnie
PlayStation
the Pooh
controller. Oh, sorry.
and Sam Drake.
Yeah, I should switch it up, right?
Okay.
All right. Switch.
Yeah,
No.
let's do this.
All
All right, fighting over the good controller.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
All right, guys, let me get the cards here. And make a scene. Let's do it.
Oh my God. We barely got out of that line.
Are you all right?
Are you a teddy bear? What are you?
Oh, yes.
Jesus, you're covered in honey, too. This is just...
Well,
actually
everyone
quite
does
delicious.
say that I'm quite sweet.
What you got there?
Oh, I have my remote control. I'm about to play some video games.
Oh, are you? Yeah, playing video games? Well, I think I'll take that from you right there.
No.
This has got honey all over it, too.
Well, the other controllers have more honey, and it's sticky.
How could they have more honey than this? Because this is literally like 4 parts honey and 1 part something else that I can no longer identify. Do you know who I am?
I was.
Do you know what I've done?
binge watching on Netflix last night, and there was like 8 honey pots, and I ate them all.
So you have a problem?
I wouldn't say that.
Brian, this is a video game I want to play.
This is a video game.
Sam Drake,
Winnie the Pooh and Sam Drake fighting the honey.
Coming soon. Kickstarter coming up soon. All right,
And
well.
we win by eating it all.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. Great to have you with us. Good luck with
Well done,
World
dude.
War
Well
II.
done.
And Troy's going to stick around. Troy's going to stick around. We got more Troy. Thank you, Troy, as well. You'll see Troy, Nadeshot, and iJustine in a bit when we chat about the latest gaming news. Plus, we've got exclusive first looks at Dishonored 2 and Gears of War 4 still to come. But right now, here's a brand new video from iHasCupQuake. Check it out.
Hey guys, it's Cupquake. I am super excited to show you guys a little sneak peek of our newest original song and animation collab with Mr. Weeble. It's inspired by the game Who's Your Daddy? So be sure to check it out. It comes out October 1st. Thanks for watching.
Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? What's your daddy do? Drinking bleach all day. That's how I like to play. Keep my daddy on his toes. Watch me in my death throes. See an open oven, gonna crawl right in. Gonna give myself super crispy baby skin. Is this dangerous? I don't know. I'm a baby. All I know is that I'm driving my daddy crazy. Gonna put this fork inside a plug socket. This is baby fun, daddy. Please don't stop it. Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? What's your daddy do? Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? What's he do? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Your daddy? What's your daddy do? Daddy, put that dangerous teddy away. I just wanna play with rat poison all day. Can't you read the label? It says made in China. That shit's bound to give you some sort of baby angina. Honestly, Papa, what the hell are you thinking?
Thanks to iHasCupQuake for that. We'll see her here in studio soon. Now it's time to move on to news. It's super important, especially when the news is about gaming. Let's dive into this week's hottest gaming topics. And joining us on the panel, we've got Matt, a.k.a. Nadeshot.
I got upgraded to the couch.
Yes, exactly. I
feel really good
Moving
about
up.
that.
You'll be hosting by next week. You never know.
Taking your job. I'm coming for it.
Justine, a.k.a. iJustine. Great to have
Hello.
you with us.
Thanks
With
for
your
having me.
Pokemon Go there.
I haven't caught anything yet.
Okay.
We're working on it.
Yeah, legendary Pokemon in the studio, maybe. We'll see. And Troy, great to have you back with us again.
Thank you.
All right, so guys, let's news. And we want to talk about some of the gaming headlines. And our first story comes from the Washington Post. I don't know if you guys saw this, but a recent article linked America's rising youth unemployment rate, particularly amongst young men, to the increased amount of time they spend gaming. Basically, people would rather stay home and play than look for a job, according to this article. And the concern is that as we flash forward 10 years, there's going to be a large group of people who won't have any work experience. You have to go read this story because I can't encapsulate how crazy it is, at least to me. But the idea here is that a lot of people stay home, play games. One of the things it doesn't acknowledge is that there are people that stay home, play games, and have YouTube channels, make a living off playing games, creating content, hats for Team Fortress or whatever. Matt, what is your take on this idea that gaming is ruining the workforce?
That one's near and dear to my heart because for me, gaming is my job, right? But I'm in a very small percentage of people that have been lucky enough to be able to do that. So to have the Washington Post or whoever wrote the article, I would love to know where they've got that statistic. Yeah. Because for me, when I was growing up, like, I'm the best example, in my opinion. Well, I'm the best example for what I think, because it's like, when you're growing up, you're going to school, you're going to work, and you have friends or you have hobbies. And you got to keep those things in line and do them as your responsibilities increase as you get older. So as you get mature, you got to get a job and you got to go to college. And if you can't handle those responsibilities, that's kind of on you. So I feel like that's a very weird comment to make, just because it really sells a lot of people short, you know? Like, if you can't handle those responsibilities, then you shouldn't be at home playing video games. But I think a lot of people have a good grasp on that, you know? And I don't know where that really comes from.
Well, the article said that people are happier playing video games, but they're just not, they're living at home, they're not getting jobs. Troy, I mean, you run into a lot of these fans all the time, and it's like, I feel there are a lot of people that love the art form of video games and get immersed in that. It's a sense of escapism, but I don't see anyone that sort of doesn't want to go work because they're playing games. I mean, you have to afford your lifestyle too.
Sure, I mean, you have to be able to buy the games, first of all. I think that this is probably another example of just people trolling and trying to create more negative content against video gaming because they primarily don't understand the culture that exists that supports the industry. And the reason why the industry exists is because there's people like us who absolutely love these things, not just for escapism, but there's people that I've met before that would be considered severely disabled, and one of these guys came up to Nolan North at a con and said, my son will never be able to go on adventures like Nathan Drake, but because of these games, he can go on adventures with Nathan Drake. So I will take news like that and anecdotal reference like that over someone saying, well, we think that people are being slacking because they're staying at home and playing games. And that is not a new story. You can subjugate that word from games to different things. There have always been people who haven't been willing to toe the line and do what they're supposed to do. Gaming is just the newest thing that they can point to. Yeah. But like you said, I think they should be excited because this is actually creating commerce, it's creating an industry, and it's taking people who are incredibly resilient and self-reliant and being able to create their own career as opposed to just going and getting a job somewhere. Right. They're creating a job and they're creating their own path and their own career. I think it's incredible.
1000%. Justine, what's your take on this story?
I mean, I didn't really like the story very much because most of my friends, everyone is sort of entrepreneurial. They do things like Matt. Everyone has a YouTube channel and is working towards something. And a lot of people aren't working traditional jobs anymore. They are driving Uber, Lyft, Postmates, TaskRabbit. There's so many ways that they can be making money and then also playing games or doing whatever else it is that they're doing. But people are not working traditional jobs or going to traditional colleges because everything that you need to know is online, and you can just make a name for yourself, and you don't have to rely on other people. So, I mean, reading that article, I was getting a little bit upset.
And all you guys have done a great job. And that's the thing is like, and the thing I couldn't believe is that there are people making content for games or playing games, learning how to build a level, and then eventually get a job working at a game company and things like that. So there are a lot of ways to do more with games.
Make this your job.
Yeah, I just thought it was incredibly weird. It's you have responsibilities as you grow up, but like Justine was saying, there are different ways to make money now. But for them to make an assumption that people want to sit at home and play games instead of like going out, being successful, getting a well-paying job, and building a family, just doing the normal things that society is built for the entire idea of.
That's a big jump.
Yeah,
that's a
really
big
jump. The world is changing. All right, well, moving on to our next story, which is a little more positive, but does show how the world is changing in a good way. The Girl Scouts have created a brand new patch for video game development. Last weekend, PlayStation in Santa Monica hosted our local Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles for a workshop where Girl Scouts could learn more about the gaming industry and design prototypes and earn their very own video game designer patch. You can see it right here.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. So, Justine, what do you think of this? Were you a Girl Scout back in the day?
I actually wasn't, because I was doing things like playing video games or trying to figure out how to code websites, and most of my time was spent on a computer or in front of a console or something like that. So this is incredible because most of my audience, I feel like, is a lot of younger girls who are into these sorts of things. So the Girl Scouts are embracing this is awesome, which completely just contradicts everything that last article just said.
Exactly.
One last dig.
And it could be a YouTuber patch. I mean, there's all these things that people are doing, but the fact that games, and I hear that from a lot of colleges now, like USC here in LA, like half of the applicants for the video game design program are women now who want to get into game design. So even though I think a lot of people are concerned about diversity at the younger age groups, it feels like this is really positive.
Well, there's something else that I like to see institutions that have such a rich history within our culture and within our country, like the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and you can look back at some of the greatest leaders of our country. You can look at their resume, and almost all of them will have an Eagle Scout or a high-ranking Girl Scout achievement on that. For an institution like that to look and see, there's an evolution within our culture. And these are things that aren't, again, fringe, but it's actually more mainstream than we think. We want to embrace that and foster that and show that if you want to do things like this, then let's reward you for that and make you work and actually set qualitative goals that you have to achieve in order to get this thing. But I think to be able to reward that for these girls, especially these formative years, is going to be huge as they get older and they try to achieve something that's outside of a Girl Scouts or a Boy Scouts or something organization. I think it's incredible.
And it feels like it's much more acceptable now, because even growing up, I was the only girl in any of my programming classes, all through high school. And it was something that they didn't really push for people to do. Now there's things like Girls Who Code, and things like that are really encouraging for girls. So
we didn't get beat
I'm
up, we got bad, or we didn't get badges, we got beat up for doing this stuff.
Yeah, the culture has just changed so much around gaming. There's just so many communities that have been built through this vice, and just to just include women and young girls in it at such a young age, it just gives them so much opportunity to meet other people and just to build friendships and just work on social skills. Like, there are so many different things that are valuable about video games themselves. So to just introduce it at a young age to women, I think, is incredible.
And now the Boy Scouts got to have the esports patch, right?
Right. Get some tournaments going.
Young little Nadeshot will get it one day. All right, well, we're moving on to our final topic, picked by you guys at primetimevoting.com, and it is talking about PSX 2016, the PlayStation Experience, which is coming up, announced as December 3rd and 4th here in Southern California, Anaheim, right after the Game Awards 2016. A little plug there on December 1st. So we'll start with you on this, Troy, since you are known for being a big part of the PlayStation family. In many PlayStation games, Last of Us, of course, most famously, and Uncharted 4. You've been to PSX, so what are you expecting this year?
The thing that I love about what PSX is that it's more geared about the community about PlayStation more than it is about titles. Obviously, we're going to be showing several new titles and announcing things that I think have been highly anticipated, and there's things that I'm excited as a gamer to see.
The internet just went crazy.
Bam! Who knows what it is? But again, the thing that I love about it is that PlayStation has created such a great culture within themselves, and they're diehard, and they're global, and it allows us to be connected to when the rest of the world we seem very, especially right now with the political climate and everything, we seem very disparate, but there's this one thing that brings us back together again, and that's this thing, and PlayStation Experience is really geared towards that. So as a fan and as a gamer, I love seeing it. What titles are going to be announced, I have no idea. There's some whisperings and rumors of sequels or new IPs.
People always dream.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know. I know that I'm going to be front and center because I want to be able to be one of the first people to see it because I geek out more.
No,
than anybody
it's a fun experience, and PlayStation has such a great community, and I'm sure there'll be new Call of Duty. There'll be new, lots of great stuff there. I'm sure.
The cool trend that has been, we kind of start from E3, and it's been carrying on from here, is that we've finally seen not just females in lead roles in games, but really, really strong, complex female characters that aren't just like, well, we need to do this now because culturally this is what we're doing, but people are actually writing characters. So I guess for me, what I'd want to see is I'd want to see more games that are geared towards not placating a certain part of an audience, but actually just making a strong female character just as strong as a male character has been up to this point, and just making more stories like that. So fingers crossed for more stuff like that.
Horizon looks like it's got a great female lead, and I'm sure lots of cool stuff. So we will see, hopefully, everyone at PSX. And speaking of PlayStation, Justine and Matt, you guys are going to be the first to unbox the PlayStation VR coming up a little bit later in the show, so we'll look forward to that.
Very excited. I brought my knives.
Oh. All right, that's a warning.
I thought it was a joke, and she actually presented a bag o' knives. I was like, good God.
Be careful, fair warning. All right, we'll get to that later, we hope, if we're still here. All right, we've got more games coming your way with exclusives on Dishonored 2 and Gears of War 4. But first, we're excited to be part of YouTube's primetime lineup, along with lots of amazing creators. Markiplier was just streaming earlier tonight, and all week we got lots of great creators streaming on YouTube Primetime. And now, with a sneak peek of her show, which is going to be streaming tomorrow, is a rising star, One Shot Girl.
Well, hi, Jeff, and hello, live with YouTube Gaming. My name is One Shot Girl. I'm a streamer here on YouTube Gaming, and I play all sorts of different games on my channel. I'm also one of the featured streamers here on Primetime, and I have the Friday slot at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific if you want to come hang out for a bit. I'll be playing a horror game tomorrow, so if you do want to come check it out, what you're going to see at the live stream is a lot of high energy, a lot of goofiness, and a lot of screaming. Let's take a look. Guys, I think we're gonna try to creep to the exit. Oh! No freaking way. No way. No! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna get wrecked! I'm gonna get wrecked! I didn't see it, no! Oh, we pulled that 360! Oh, we pulled that 360! How are you seeing me, bro? Oh man, he got me good! I knew he was gonna come up behind me. I knew it! Mother of crap! No way! What? I didn't think it was gonna turn around that fast! Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Thank you, One Shot Girl. Now, for decades, a battle has raged among gamers. The console wars. Everyone has their favorite, but this season on Live with YouTube Gaming, we're going to settle the debate in the best way possible by pitting them against each other in actual combat. These are the console wars.
Robot's out, right? Thank you. Robot out. Guessed it.
All right, we got one of our console gladiators here tonight, the NES. We call him Mad Rob, the Code Warrior, and you'll meet him coming up soon, and you'll see much more of him throughout the season as we get ready for the console wars. All right, we're moving on now to an exclusive new look at a game that is coming out this holiday season. He's here all the way from Lyon, France. Harvey, it is great to see you from Arcane.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. Dishonored 2, huge E3 for you guys. Showed a lot of great content. This game, 2 different characters you can play, many different styles you can play through. And I know we're here tonight because you're giving us the first ever look at a non-lethal playthrough.
Yeah, so we obviously show a lot of assault-style gameplay where you just go in and slaughter everybody. But we hear from a lot of our stealth players that they constantly want to hear like They want to see the non-lethal playthrough. They want to see the ghost playthrough, and so that's what we got tonight.
And can you play through this game without killing a soul?
So you can paint the walls red with blood, or you can literally not be seen by anybody from beginning to end. We have players that do that. They literally never even fight. But yes, you can play the game entirely without
that must suck when you're like 8 hours into the game, you finally get to see by like start the playthrough
there
again,
he is,
right?
or there she is. Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, people love a challenge. So yeah, tell us a bit about what we're going to see here from Dishonored 2.
So what we're doing right now is we're going around with the Clockwork Mansion, and we're letting people actually put their hands on it. It's the first time. The game ships soon. It ships on November 11th.
Yeah.
And if you pre-order it, you get it a day early.
Okay.
And so we're doing some stuff in support of that. And so what you're going to see right now is just a lot more of the non-lethal moves, a lot more of the stealth moves.
All right, well, let's take a look at Dishonored 2, and you can tell us what we're seeing as we go through it.
The Duke's circle is full of clever bastards, but no one is like Jindosh. His home is supposed to be full of marvels.
So the primary target in this mission is Kiran Jindosh, the Grand Inventor.
Okay.
And the mission's being set up right now by Megan Foster, who is voiced by Rosario Dawson.
Oh, cool. All right, so that's a little setup there, and now we're going to go right into some gameplay that we will see from the game. Now, you said non-lethal playthrough, so obviously lots of different abilities, and this. Here we go. All right, so we're into the gameplay here. Tell us what we're seeing here.
All right, so you can play the entire game as Corvo Atano or Emily Caldwin, and right now we're playing as Emily. And Corvo's powers from the first game are all back, and they've all been extended in some way. New upgrade trees. Emily is using Domino here. It's a new power. So she can link a bunch of people together, and whatever she does to one of them affects all of them.
Okay.
So one sleep dart takes out everybody linked by it, or choking one person, they all get choked. And so in that case, she knocked out multiple people at once with Domino.
Non-lethal. All right, so as we go through in here, we're inside, and then obviously...
That was her far reach ability, which is like an equivalent to Blink, but it's a little more elasticy.
Okay.
More like a grappling hook made of magic. Here she's entering a Grand Guard facility. She's stealing a key from a sleeping guard. We have sleeping characters this time. She just picked up the gate code, so she's being really sneaky right now. All right, so now we're gonna raise the gate and head to Kiran Jindosh's mansion. And you know, we talked a lot about this mission. We tried to do like bigger and better Dishonored in all ways. It's classic Dishonored with the stealth approach or the assault approach, but we wanted to take it over the top, so this time all the missions have either game mechanically or fictionally some huge theme. And the Clockwork Mansion obviously is the mission we've shown where the walls, floor, and ceiling all can be reconfigured constantly by the player. It's like playing inside a giant Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And so we're heading there now.
The engine looks incredible. It's a new Void engine, your new...
Yeah, it's a 95% rewrite of IdTech by our programming team. It's called the Void engine.
Yeah.
And it's made to support our art style and our gameplay in particular. So this is the Clockwork Mansion, which we originally showed 2 years ago at E3 in a video, but this is in the engine.
Right, that was that first announcement trailer, right? Yeah.
And so we're far-reaching up into a space between the walls. You can reconfigure all the spaces, or you can like try to avoid even Jindosh knowing you're there, you know, moving around in the space behind the walls.
Space behind the walls.
That's what she's talking about here. We have voice characters this time, so Stephen Russell plays Corvo, Erica Luttrell plays Emily. We're super happy with both of them. It adds a lot of warmth to the characters.
Yeah. And speaking of characters, we have a primetimevoting.com poll right now. Would you like to play as Corvo or Emily? Vote right now. We'll find out what the audience thinks. All right, great. Cool. All right, well, let's keep looking through here as we play through more of the game and see more of the action in place. And as we go through, obviously, we get to, you know, the great thing about this game, I think, is the idea that you can play it in any style you want, and then you have some, I'm sure, some new Game Plus modes as well.
It's not just Corvo or Emily or high or low chaos, you know, stealth or assault. Actually, the powers that you choose, even if you're just playing Emily, you can upgrade one set of powers or another set of powers, and then you can put them in combination together in ways that we don't even anticipate, you know? Yeah. So right off the bat, when people started playing the game, they would, as Emily, they would take Domino, for instance, and let's say you're badly wounded and you see a room ahead with like 3 very powerful guards and you don't want to fight them, so you might domino them together and then see a servant carrying a tray of fruit down the hall, and domino them to him and choke him out because servants are very easy to fight, and drop the 3 tough fighters. So. Yeah, that was Shadow Walk, where she was using it in her non-lethal capacity, like stealing the breath from the guy. Far Reach again. Very realistically modeled elevators in the game this time.
Emily won the vote, by the way.
Oh, nice, okay.
Doing a good job selling her gameplay here today. And obviously the dynamic between Corvo and Emily, because you can play through it as either of them. That must be interesting, because obviously given their relationship, how does that sort of play out as you, are there points where they will intersect?
At the beginning of the game, and then you commit to one of them and play for the rest of the game as either Corvo or Emily.
Okay.
And you know, they're father-daughter, but she's the Empress, she's in charge, so there's a little bit of tension between them. And the 2 actors play really well off of each other, so we think players are gonna really love the upgrade to the game.
Yeah, well, it looks incredible, and we're so glad to have you all the way over from France showing us this. I'm sure the team is in the final throes of finishing it up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the game comes November 11th or November 10th if you pre-order.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of my team. They're putting final enhancements on the game now, finishing things up over in France. I left in the middle of the heat of all of that going on. It's kind of crazy. I'm a little jet lagged tonight, but not too bad. So.
Well, the game looks incredible. We
Thank
appreciate you making
Yeah.
the trip over. Harvey, Dishonored to Arcane always pushes that genre forward, and we can't wait to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Dishonored 2. All right. Well, video games are just like us, but what if they have a problem? Where do they turn for advice? Our very own Kyle Bosman, unlicensed game therapist, is here to help the helpless. This is our new segment, Dear Bosman.
It's not easy being a video game these days. Every single day, we here at Live with YouTube Gaming receive dozens of letters from video games all over the world who are just looking for a little bit of advice. I'm Kyle Bosman. This is Dear Bosman. Let's see who we can help tonight. Dear Bosman, Squawk. I'm Sony's biggest exclusive this fall. On top of that, I was announced at E3 7 years ago, and I belong to a lineage of some of the greatest games of all time. How can I live up to expectations? Squawky Squawk, The Last Guardian. P.S. Tell everyone at Leeweek TG I said hi. Okay. So thank you for writing in, Last Guardian. The truth is, there is no way for you to live up to those expectations. They're too high. Honestly, right now, Last Guardian, I think the best advice I have to give to you is to temper expectations. What I mean by this is when you're making that trailer, the accolades trailer, you know, the ones that have quotations from publications. Yeah, sure, include the ones that are like, this is a cinematic experience that makes my soul burn bright, but also, hear me out, include some that say, the controls are kinda weird. Dear Bosman, it's me again, Battleborn. Any new ideas? Sincerely, Battleborn. Battleborn, I can't help you. Sorry. A lot of these are from Battleborn. Dear Bosman, how come I get so many thumbs downs on my trailers? I'm not mad about it, it's just something I noticed. This kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Just curious, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Wow, I did not expect to see a letter from Call of Duty tonight, but I guess that goes to show anybody can ask for help. Thank you, Call of Duty. Let's see how bad these thumbs downs really are. Oh, how about like multiplayer? Everybody loves your multiplayer trailers. Oh my God. What about your launch trailer? Oh, I would thumb this down because you used that bad David Bowie cover the year that David Bowie died. Why would you think to do that? But beyond that, I don't know, Call of Duty. I can't pinpoint any particular thing that you've done particularly wrong with Infinite Warfare. You just kind of look like a cool space game. I'm not sure I get it. In fact, I think that this might just be a case of you're a fun game to hate. It's fun to throw a thumbs down at Call of Duty. It feels good. Hey, Call of Duty, here's a thumbs down, buddy. You just have to be big enough to handle that. Look, the spectrum of video games is so large, so vast, that the most successful one, the best-selling franchise, most of the people still won't play that game. Right? There's no one game that all of us like. There's no one game that most of us like. You can't look at those thumbs downs like, oh, that was potential customers, they're all gone. All these people hate us, they'll never buy us, we're sunk, buddy. No, like look at your thumbs up still. Look at all those. Most video games would be proud to have that many thumbs up. What I mean to say to you, Infinite Warfare, is go ahead and switch the style up. And if they hate, then let them hate. And watch the money pile. That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Kyle Bosman. This has been Dear Bosman. Hope to see you next time.
How lovely. Dear Bosman from Kyle Bosman. Thank you, Kyle. All right, now here to give us an exclusive first look at Gears of War 4 and the new Horde 3.0 is Rod Ferguson from the Coalition.
Hey.
Decked out in your Coalition.
Gotta represent.
Well, you've got a big couple of weeks ahead here with leading up to Gears launch. Thanks so much for coming down from Vancouver. And this is a reunion for you personally with the Gears franchise. Working on it for many years at Epic and now building a new team, next-gen Gears of War. And I got to say, everything I've seen so far looks great. Great E3, seeing a lot of campaign stuff. And then just a couple weeks ago, revealed Horde 3.0.
Yes.
So for people that may not be familiar with Horde mode, what is Horde mode?
So Horde mode was sort of the mode we introduced in Gears of War 2, where it's this idea of a team cooperatively fighting against wave after wave, 50 waves of enemies. And that get progressively harder as you play.
Yeah.
In 2, that was very emergent. All you had were like planted shields and planted grenades. That's all you had. In Gears 3, we did it with you planted, fortifications are already there. You just sort of turn them on, and it felt a little bit like a tower defense game. So what we really wanted to do for Gears 4 was go back to that emergent feel. And so now we have this fabricator that you can put anywhere. You can build anything, put it where you want, move it if you want to, upgrade it as you play.
Yeah.
And so it makes it feel much more emergent. And you can play it on any map. And one of the things that's really interesting about Horde now, you're seeing it on Gridlock, is that like Gridlock in Gears 2 and Gears 3 was not a fun Horde map. It was like Blood Drive was a better map for Horde and those sorts of things. But when we were playing, on Gridlock now, it's really, really fun. So we know that idea of being able to build where you want and what you want makes actually any map really, really fun. And you can play it at all multiplayer maps.
And this feels like a high-level wave here. Of, Wave 49 complete, is that what I just saw?
Yeah, exactly. So this is sort of the end going towards it. And basically it's highlighting the 5 different classes is what you get. So we have, what's one of the new things we've added is this idea, like normally when you play through 50 waves as they get harder, your tactics kind of start to boil down to one tactic of just survival.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is allow people to play their style all the way through all 50 waves. So if you're in precision, like to do headshots, we want headshots to matter all the way through. So we created these 5 classes, the sniper, the scout, the heavy, the soldier, the engineer, and now you have skills that allow you to keep doing that style of play all the way from wave 1 all the way to wave 50.
Wow, well it looks very intense, and of course, not only just Horde, full-blown campaign, multiplayer, a lot sort of packed into the Gears 4 pack.
Yeah, it's big for us. Like we've always had these sort of 3 chunks, the 3 pillars: the campaign, the versus, and Horde.
Yeah.
But it's all co-op all the way through. We have split screen co-op. You can even play versus co-op now. You matchmake onto a human team. You can do 5 humans against bots, which for the first time ever. So co-op has always been our cake, not our icing, and we wanted that continues all the way through, even Gears of War 4.
Well, it looks very gritty and, as we would expect, lots of
Yeah,
action.
it's Gears, but it's a new boss, the Kestrel, so that's an attack helicopter.
Oh, wow.
And so that's one of the new bosses that you have to face that makes things challenging for you. But again, it's this idea of these classes, and any class can be any character. You're not limited. It's like not Baird has to be the engineer kind of thing. Right. You can be any class. And you can use any weapons, so you're not forced to be like, oh, I picked this class, I can only use these types of weapons.
Yeah.
It's just you get benefits from using things that go to your play style. So what you see is people working together, and you don't have to be one of each class. You can be 5 soldiers or 5 engineers. You can do whatever you want. And again, that's what we really wanted, was that idea of emergent gameplay and that idea of solving the problem yourself.
And playing, of course, with your friends, which is lots about
and with crossplay with them, because we're XPA, which means you buy it on Xbox, you get it on Windows 10 as well, and we have crossplay.
XPA.
Yeah, Xbox Play Anywhere. Sorry, maybe I'm not supposed to use the acronym.
No, it's fine. But it's like Xbox, PC, everyone together. And speaking of Xbox, we have something cool here which you guys have not shown before.
Right.
Xbox One S is out. Of course, we have the white one that's out now. I want to get my hands on one of those, but also we've got the Gears Special Edition and this new blue, teal, I don't know what color do we describe?
I'm going to go with blue. I like the Coalition blue. Let's go with that.
Okay, the Coalition blue. This is a brand new one that you're revealing here for the first time. Tell us about this one.
Well, so the way that we have them organized actually is based on release. So if you look at, this is our custom limited edition console, which is a 2 terabyte, like laser etched, it lights on fire when you make it. That's available October 6th. This is the Xbox One S Gears bundle. Comes with Gears of War. It's a 1 terabyte. and that's available on October 11th, which is our release date.
Okay.
And this is a GameStop Microsoft Store exclusive, and it basically is a 500 gigabyte, and it's available November 1st.
Okay. All right, so lots of consoles.
Lots of ways to get Gears of War. So
and you have you have the Elite controller too, right?
We do, yeah, which just
Here,
basically is sold out. So it's one of the
so
things.
sold out we can't even get one here at the show, right?
Exactly.
But it's like that looks insane.
Yeah, it's super awesome. It was actually the ship gift we did for our team. We actually got them custom engraved with Gears 4 dev team on them, and so they're so special that being able to give them to the dev team was exciting.
Awesome. Well, Rod, thank you so much for popping by. Look forward to checking out Gears. I know next week you've got your launch party. Justine is hosting that. We're going to cover that next week in the show. So
yeah, it's
lots of
super
Gears.
exciting. I mean, it's been 2.5 years with a whole new team up in Vancouver, and it's we just sent out the reviewer code, so you'll be playing, I'm sure, this weekend. So it's just really exciting that this is all happening. So I can't wait to October 7th.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rod. Great to see you. Congrats on wrapping up the game. Gears of War 4. Very exciting. And now we have a special guest popping in. We mentioned the console wars earlier. Now I'd like you to meet our first combatant. This is Rob the Robot. He will be battling out later this season. And believe it or not, he actually, there's a drill inside of him, and he will swing around his switchblades here to beat other consoles. And there is an Xbox bot. So we might need one of these Xboxes, Rod, to turn into our battle bot. But you will see him battling a little bit later this season, so stay tuned for the console wars. Xbot and PlayStation bot are still to come. All right, thank you very much, Rob. Good to see you. You can exit now. All right, well, we're going to move on. I wonder if we can get off stage there. All right, well, now we're going to head on over to Justine, because it is time for the first ever unboxing of the PlayStation VR. Justine, Matt, why don't you do the honors?
I'm extremely excited. I've actually never done a live unboxing before, so this is a first.
I don't know who let her in here with a knife.
I brought 7 knives actually, and this is the one that made the cut. So let's just open this up, since we need to really get in here and see what's happening.
This has never been
opened. You better be careful.
Everyone trusts her.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to help?
Well, I'll just watch.
You can handle all the garbage.
Yeah, I'll be the garbage man.
Okay.
And the bubble wrap. Nice.
Oh,
all right, PlayStation
man,
VR.
look at this. This knife is so sharp. So we got the box here. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see? Can everybody see all right?
What's inside that box there?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Let me see.
Okay, I think, maybe, can you hold this real quick?
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's probably safer with me anyways.
Do you want to help me?
He said it was your unboxing.
You're assisting, though.
Now, this
So
comes out in a couple weeks, October 13th, so this is a first look.
Wow, this
Oh,
is incredible.
Oh, that's actually cool, the box like that. How it
Look at
opens up
this.
like
This is
that.
some great packaging.
Yeah, real nice.
How do we get one of these?
Don't break anything.
Well, you have the knife, so
Yeah, I'm holding on to
anything
this.
goes. All right, we've got, what do we got here? We've got some cables.
Okay. When you do an unboxing, do you unbox every cable too?
I do. We probably don't have time for that,
Yeah, I
so
think-
this is where it is.
She's very
I was like
thorough.
undoing all these little...
Here's some more cables.
Yes.
Let's just get into the headset, because I think
Okay.
that's what we really want to see.
Oh, that's interesting how it... Wow.
Jesus.
Oh my God, what are you dropping?
We're trying to get into
All right,
the good
I'm
stuff.
done. I resign as the garbage man.
Here we go.
Oh my God. PlayStation VR.
Look at
What's else inside here?
So at E3, I did get a chance to play the Resident Evil demo, which was really, really
Yes.
fun. And did you play the Batman one? at
Yeah, I
E3?
played Batman.
It was
Batman
pretty
is
cool.
amazing.
It was
PlayStation
great.
VR.
I mean, I played for a pretty
Very
long
cool.
time.
You're just gonna throw it on.
What do you want me to do? Well, I mean,
Well, I don't think anybody said it was yours, but.
So there's that. I think you'll have to get the camera and the controllers if you don't. PlayStation Move, PlayStation
Yeah.
Eye if you don't have them, which I don't think are in the box. Those are
It
separate.
comes with this
but-
this box here.
Okay.
And so this is kind of like your splitter. So like you'll have an HDMI going in and then
Right.
going out to the TV.
Okay.
Then you set this up next to your PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
Then you'll have the camera like at either the top of your TV or below.
Right.
We got to try it at E3 very briefly, and it was a lot of fun. The Batman was a really, really great experience.
Batman's awesome because it's like, the thing with VR is there are a lot of stuff that like sort of these speculative, like sort of, early access games, and like PlayStation VR does have Batman Arkham VR, which is amazing, and then also They're doing a Star Wars Rogue One X-Wing thing that's coming out in December for PSVR 2, which is going to be really cool.
They're going to have Star Wars on
Yeah.
VR?
Yeah, Matt, come on. Where were you at E3?
That's cool.
No, I think this is going to be super exciting, especially for people who have consoles, because this is going to be easily accessible. If you have a PlayStation, you're
Right.
probably going to want to get this. So
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
gonna be exciting.
And if you want to go in the Batcave,
And if you
I would
wanna go in
definitely
the
get one
Batcave.
too. That part's pretty awesome.
I'll tell you, Resident Evil was pretty scary, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I was getting scared at arms that were just falling in front of me off of mannequins. So
Yeah,
it's
no.
even the slightest thing. I mean, it feels like
And
you're
VR is a
there.
big thing, but this is, you
Don't
know,
touch it?
the most cost-effective thing. If you have a PlayStation 4, it plugs right in. And we don't have it all hooked up, but it's really cool how it lights up on the front too and tracks it through the PlayStation Eye camera. So
It's incredibly immersive. I mean, when you have a headset on and you have the soundtrack going and all the audio files from the game, like she said, the Resident Evil was terrifying.
I can't even imagine. I mean, some of these games are going to be, I think that's going to be the problem, is you're going to get so immersed that you forget about the real life.
Maybe this Washington Post article will make a lot more sense with VR.
fully immersed in all things VR.
I don't want to
still
get a job.
Don't like that article.
Well,
but
that is
this
PlayStation
looks
VR.
good.
Very exciting, and I'm sure you'll be doing more with it on your channel, Justine, so people can check it out there. PlayStation VR unboxed and coming October 13th, so make sure to check that out. Thank you, Justine and Matt.
I made
Live
a mess.
unboxing. How did it go for the first live unboxing?
You know, I would have made more of a mess on my channel, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to like destroy or hurt anyone, so I tried to keep it clean.
Yeah, we got bubble wrap too, so I'm chilling.
Now you guys can clean that up for the next time. No, exactly.
Look, I got
Not
more
part of the
cords to
deal.
unbox.
All right, well, thanks very much, Matt and Justine. Now we've got, one thing we want to do is also cover some indie emerging games on the show. I know we've had a lot of big titles this week, but every week we also want to look at some of the other cool, smaller titles out there. And this is one that just got announced that we think looks really, really cool. It's a new indie game that will be on PlayStation called Sundered. Check out this trailer. Sundered, coming soon. All right, well, we're almost done with the show, but before we wrap up, I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about a game that has been a hot topic these past few months. Indeed, yesterday, word got out that the Advertising Standards Authority in England is exploring whether this game is responsible for false advertising. Of course, I'm talking about No Man's Sky from Hello Games, which came out in August for PlayStation and PC. Now, I honestly resisted saying anything about this game for the better part of the past year because I've been sort of internally conflicted about what I saw happening, and I've sort of played a role in this. I've been in some of the cringe reels on YouTube of a lot of the broken promises. And honestly, the last time I saw the guy who heads up Hello Games, Sean Murray, was back in March, and he told me then that he didn't really want to be around me that much anymore because he thought I was being a little too negative about the game and my assessment of where the team was at. They were under an incredible amount of pressure. And I've lived through this game. I helped launch the game in December of 2013, or launched the announcement of it, when Sean and his team came out to Los Angeles from Guildford, England, to debut their vision at an awards show called VGX. And me, like many of you, were taken by the story of these young indie developers, 10 of them in an old travel agency in Guildford, England, developing this beautiful, rich, procedurally generated world that let you swim below the ocean and fly amongst the stars. It captured our imagination. But as I stood with Sean and his team at the after party that night, I could tell the weight of the world was now on their shoulders. And it reminds me of this old Robert Redford movie, The Candidate, where he wins an election and then he stands in the hotel room with his advisor and says, "What do we do now?" I felt like these guys had no idea where they were going to go, but they had this huge amount of momentum. And no matter what you thought of the final product, I think we all agree that Sean enrolled us in a dream for the kind of experience we all want to have with a video game. No Man's Sky captured our imaginations, and in our mind's eye, we all envisioned what the experience was going to be like before we had it. And sometimes, as the old saying goes, you want to sort of shoot for the moon because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. As I thought more and more about what was happening with No Man's Sky, I remembered that this kind of has happened before in the game industry. In fact, back at E3 1999, I was in a room with a developer from the same town Sean's from, Guildford, England, who sold me on his vision of a 3D world that was going to be unlike anything else out there. It was going to be a living, breathing universe. In fact, you could see a worm crawl out of an apple, and then majestically you'd pull back the camera through the clouds and look at these gargantuan creatures that you trained up, and they would engage in these Street Fighter-like battles with each other. In fact, if you don't believe me, I found this amazing clip on, of all places, YouTube, of that exact demo from 15 years ago at E3. Check this out.
This is your citadel. This is where you reside, and this is this obviously changes and morphs to reflect what you're like as a games player. Just as I said, the landscape around it changes and morphs. So if you have a look in that storage pit, you can just see here there is a barrel, and on that barrel is a little apple, and in that apple you can just see there is a worm. And I can go from looking at this worm and pull back and actually look at the whole village, obviously, and even go further back and look at the whole world.
Now, Peter and Sean are friends of mine, but that feels strangely familiar, doesn't it? On the one hand, I admire these game developers who dream big because they can push games in a new direction. I spent 2 weeks of my summer in college hanging out with that guy, Peter Molyneux, and his team as they finished that game, Black and White. And I have to say, he was one of the guys who inspired me to keep covering video games. Because even if he never really delivered, the promise was sometimes enough to inspire us all to think of where games may go one day. I still remember a programmer on that team telling me this story about how Peter went out and announced a planned weather feature for the game to the press, where supposedly the weather in the game would match what was outside your actual window. And he did this before he told anyone on the team and asked if it actually could be achieved. He just thought up cool ideas and wanted to enroll you in this dream world of what games could be. So the fact that a small 15-person team built and shipped a game like No Man's Sky is a stunning achievement, and tireless personal sacrifice was made to bring it to life. But on the other hand, I have to think about the players who wanted to believe in something more than what was in the box when the game shipped in August. I don't think No Man's Sky is a bad game, it's just unfinished and repetitive because, let's face it, games are crafted by skilled storytellers and big teams. Math can't always create meaning. Now, I had many strong discussions with Sean and the team as they led up to launch, and I disagreed with them charging $60 and putting it in a box when I think what they should have done was sort of put it out as an early access game and let people play it and sort of build over time with the team and the community. Sort of on, like what we're trying to do here with this show, is get your feedback and sort of change the show over time and iterate on our format every week. We all wanted to believe in No Man's Sky, and Sean did too, so much that he was never able to build up the gumption to rip off that Band-Aid and reveal what was and wasn't in the game. And I've fretted over the past few years that maybe the platform we gave him to launch the game was too big and created this black hole that he couldn't pull himself out of. But no matter what, you have to be honest with your fans. You can't lie. And Sean wanted to preserve the promise and mystery of the game so much, he started to disrespect his audience. Those of you who paid for it have every right to be disappointed if you felt misled. I always held out hope that they'd finally come together and pull it together, or they'd change their strategy. But what's happened has happened, and the big question is, where does No Man's Sky go now? I finally did reconnect with Sean a few weeks ago on email, and he said they're working hard on updates, and he said he's open to coming on this show later in October to talk more about what happened to me and to all of you. So I hope that's going to happen, and we'll keep you posted. But one of the things I hope to do with this show is to connect us all together, whether it's uniting different generations of gamers, YouTubers, journalists, developers, or giving you at home access to the people who craft the games we love or hate and allow you to interact in real time with primetimevoting.com. We have the platform to start a two-way conversation with the audience. And that, in a way, is what No Man's Sky never did. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next Thursday night for more of Live with YouTube Gaming. Really appreciate you tuning in. See you next Thursday night, live right here on YouTube. Good night.